On NOVA's website, go behind the scenes with Brian Greene. Journey into the subatomic world. Play with strings. Picture other dimensions and much more. Find it on pbs.org. To order this program on VHS or DVD, or the book The Elegant Universe, please call WGBH Boston Video at 1-800-255-9424. NOVA is a production of WGBH Boston. Corporate funding for NOVA is provided by Sprint and Microsoft. Additional funding is provided by the Park Foundation, dedicated to education and quality television. Funding for The Elegant Universe is provided by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation to enhance public understanding of science and technology. And by the National Science Foundation, where discoveries begin. Additional funding is provided by Volkswagen and by the George D. Smith Fund and the U.S. Department of Energy, fostering science and security. Major funding for NOVA is also provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS stations from viewers like you. Thank you.
I am PBS,